So let's begin with making cholent, setting it up in a crockpot such as this one, which is not an insert that goes into a heating element. Rather, we have a base with heat, and there's a regular pot that goes on top. And actually, this is the exact same thing, the exact same halachos as setting up this crockpot as a cholent that's made on a stovetop. Briefly, just to review, you set up, you prepare your cholent with the food. If you want, the safest way to do it, put up your cholent early enough before Shabbos that it is completely cooked. Set up on Shabbos. You don't halachically need a blech, but it's always a good idea to have a blech on. Have some aluminum foil as a barrier between the heat and the pot. Have a piece of tape on the controls on the dial, or take it off if it's removable. This way, there's no concerns. Your food is fully cooked. You can, alternatively, you can do the same thing if the cholent is more than a half cooked. It's really edible, but then you must be careful for the following thing. Always bear in mind when you're in your kitchen on Shabbos, when food is not completely cooked, you can't take the cover off and put it back on. Once you take the cover off, the heat escapes. It's going to take a long time for what's in the pot to finish cooking. When you put your cover back on, the heat is contained, the heat is building up, it's going to cook faster. Going like this with food that's not completely cooked is hastening the completion of the cooking and is a Torah prohibition of cooking on Shabbos. So, if your cholent is a half cooked, it's edible, but not fully cooked, it's fine. Plug it in before Shabbos, go to shul, your food, just make sure you don't touch it. Don't go like this. You sometimes have this yetzer hara, this desire to see, is there enough water in there? Is it cooking well? Did mommy add kishka to the cholent or not this week? You look inside, don't do that. If it's not fully cooked, don't go like this. That's something you have to avoid at all costs. If you put up your cholent and it's not half cooked before Shabbos, then you must leave a blech on. Halachically, you're required to have a blech with the aluminum foil on top. The control over here is suggested, the scotch tape is suggested, and again, make sure you do not touch it. Don't take the cover off. If you like, you could do the exact opposite. Take your fully raw cholent. Prepare your cholent right before Shabbos, and before you're about to light candles, before you're about to go to shul Friday night, plug in the cholent, turn it on. You have your food which is raw. Again, same concern. You're not going to touch it at all until Shabbos, till it's fully cooked. But over here, there is, even though it's only completely raw and all of the cooking is being done on Shabbos, this is halachically fine. You can do this. When you have a crockpot that has an insert, then there is a discussion, this machlokas, whether or not there is a problem. Over here, you have a heating element. Now that the heating element is only on the bottom, the heating element comes up and it surrounds the sides of the insert, of the sides of the pot. There are those that feel that because this is completely surrounded by heat, we're not allowed to use this unless you take something. Suggestion is take balls of aluminum foil, put them in, take an empty tuna fish can, take a tile or something like that, put it there, so that when you put the insert in, it's not completely surrounded by the heating element. If you are going to follow the recommendation of always using a blech, so you can take a piece of aluminum foil and shake it so that it can fit into the crockpot. It's coming out so you can see it. See, it's over here. Put your blech in. This, if you feel there's no concern of the fact that it's completely surrounded, but Moshe Feinstein was of the opinion it's not a concern. There are opinions either way. Some places can think that you should put in the aluminum foil bowl, some not. So if you want to set up your cholent this way, we're going to say that you're going to use an insert. Put the insert. You want to put in. You want to be careful putting the aluminum foil boils. Put this in, and this is fine. Everything else is the exact same thing we said for the other crockpot. Either put it up fully raw right before Shabbos, put it up fully cooked right before on Shabbos, half cooked, a third or less than that, whether it requires a blach or not. As far as that, the halachas are the exact same thing.